can't string a sentence together. Hi YouTube, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I'd sit down and talk to you about my experiences and my life as a teen mum so far. So let's start from the very beginning. So I had absolutely no idea that I was pregnant. Now that probably sounds really bad to some people, but it happens, okay? And I was one of those people it happened to. I was on a contraceptive pill and I took it religiously. My boyfriend's 18th birthday had passed, my 18th birthday had passed, some of my friends' 18th birthdays had passed, my best friend's 18th birthday had just passed, and in a way I'm kind of glad I didn't know, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to celebrate with her, and we've been best friends since year 8 or year 9 of school. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't know then. So I just had no idea. I wasn't putting weight on. I didn't look any different. I didn't feel any different. Of course, I was taking my pill, so I couldn't tell. I was taking it constantly. I didn't take any breaks. So that was for the first 4 months, I think. I had absolutely no idea. And then in July of last year, I started being quite poorly. I started being sick every 2 weeks to the day, which was kind of weird. So I went to the doctor. I had to get more of my pill anyway, so I asked them whether it was to do with that, and the nurse said it had absolutely nothing to do with my pill, and to book a GP appointment. So I booked a GP appointment for later on that month. She asked me a few questions, a few personal questions, and she couldn't really get to the bottom of it. So she said that she wanted to do a urine infection test, and I said, could you also do a pregnancy test at the same time? Just because in my gut, I had a feeling that it could be that. And I know this sounds really weird, but I'd had some dreams that I was pregnant as well. So I thought, might as well test, and then I can find out, and then nothing too bad can happen. So later on that day, she phoned me back and said that the pregnancy test had come back positive. When she phoned me, I was in a state of shock, I guess. I can't remember the phone call. I can't really remember what happened next. She told me loads of information on the phone of what to do for either route I could go down, and I don't remember any of that because I was just in my own world. Nothing was going on, not like there normally is anything going on anyway, but it was just all a blur. So obviously I had to tell my boyfriend, but luckily I was taking him to work because he didn't have a car at that point. So I went to his house, went upstairs, I burst into tears and told him. He was the most supportive. He was like, whichever one you choose, I'll be supportive with you. We're in this together, I'll stick by you whatever decision you make, which he has, of course. His mum then came upstairs, and because she could sense something was wrong, so we told her. She sat me down, she talked to me about some experiences she'd had, people she knew that had experiences. And then I was just in such a shock. My boyfriend didn't go to work that day, I don't think, which is understandable because he wanted to be supporting me, because finding out that at 17 out of the blue, it's crazy. So after we'd told everyone in our families, pretty much everyone, we just told our parents to start with, I just felt so much weight on my shoulders because I was supposed to be going off to dance school. I thought, I'm going to disappoint everyone if I don't do that, but at the same time I need to make my own decision. I need to think what will make me happiest. So that's the first little bit. So my mum made me an appointment to go and see the midwife so I could have a scan, because at this point I didn't know how many weeks pregnant I was, because the doctor had no way of telling, and I'd been on my pill, so I had no way of telling. So we needed to have a scan ASAP. But they couldn't do one for at least, I think it was a week, or even maybe even 2. So that added more time onto however many weeks I was. So in that time, me and my boyfriend...
Powering off.
So in that time, me, my boyfriend and my mum went up to Kent to look at houses, because the plan was for me to be going to dance school and we would be buying our own little flat there. So we went. I thought, this is going to either make my decision or nothing's going to change. We looked at different houses. Some of them were really nice. We got an application form. I saw the dance school I was going to, and just nothing changed in me, and I was really frustrated at myself because nothing had changed. I thought it would make the decision easier, but it didn't. So the week or so had passed, and then it was the day of my scan. Again, I can't really remember much about it. I remember being really nervous, and I remember there being a deciding point. Now, I think it's perfectly normal, and it should not be frowned upon to talk about abortions. It's something that happens, and you can have your own opinion on it. I don't have an opinion on it. You can either do it or you can't. I don't mind. It's your choice at the end of the day. It's your body. And if anyone ever tells you otherwise, then you need to get them out of your life, because it is a hard thing to do. I personally couldn't do it. After my scan, I had before my scan even, I had like a deciding point, I guess, in my head of what the make or break would be for me. And of course it depended on how many weeks I was, because at this point we still didn't know. We went for my scan. We waited ages. I was so nervous. My boyfriend came with me, of course, supported me through everything. The lady was quite nice. So she did the scan. We saw the little baby on the screen, and he was sucking his thumb in the, what's it called? Sonogram? Is it called a sonogram? I think so. Anyway, so we saw the little baby on the sonogram screen, and he was sucking his thumb, and I suck my thumb, so I just sort of, something felt right then. It just felt like it was meant to be, I guess. Anyway, so we did the scan. She printed off some pictures, which I'm not sure where they are. Oh, they're in his baby photo album that I've made, that I knew that I didn't want to terminate. So we left the scan. I phoned my mum, I think, to tell her that I was 17 weeks pregnant, which I don't think I've actually mentioned yet. So that's when we found out I was 17 weeks pregnant, and I had no idea. I was basically halfway through. I had a bloody clue. So we got back, we told everyone who needed to be told. That was the finding out stage of my teenage pregnancy. The actual pregnancy. Ugh, I hate it. A lot of ladies, when they're pregnant after, that made no sense. Oh my god.
Why, God? Why are you doing this to us?
So the next thing I want to talk about is the actual pregnancy itself. Personally, I hated it, and I'm so glad I'm not pregnant anymore. I felt horrible all the time. I felt fat. Obviously, I kind of was near the end because I was pregnant. I had a bump. I didn't enjoy it at all. I wasn't sick though. I had the most peaceful pregnancy. I didn't have morning sickness. I didn't get stretch marks on my stomach. I only got them on my legs. I had quite a neat little bump. I'll insert a picture of 40 weeks. So I just hated it so much. A lot of ladies, after their pregnancy, they want to be pregnant again and they really miss their bump. I am not one of them at all. I think the hardest part for me was seeing all my friends from college going off to uni and stuff. That was what I found the hardest during my pregnancy, because I would just look at myself in the mirror and just think, oh, this is horrible, I want to be doing that. I couldn't really do much. I didn't really do much. I didn't eat more, I don't think. I didn't crave more than normal. I didn't have to buy any I didn't have to buy them, but I bought 3 maternity things and that is it. I could still fit into a normal pair of jeans, mum jeans with an elastic waist, and they were my go-to. I could fit into all my joggers and all my leggings, so I didn't need to buy any maternity clothes at all. I was quite lucky in the fact that I didn't have to buy, like, it wasn't like, oh, I have absolutely nothing to wear, I need to buy some maternity stuff. Yeah, I just bought like 3 dungaree type things, just for if I was going out for a meal or something. Yeah. So that was a good thing, I guess. Yeah, my actual pregnancy part isn't that exciting. I was pregnant for Christmas and New Year's. My boyfriend's sister's 21st birthday, she had a party for that, so I had to get all nice and dressed up for that. And again, I didn't need to wear anything maternity. I moved house pregnant. It was just, everything just seemed really normal. Towards the end though, I felt really uncomfortable. Of course, like, I started feeling things. He used to kick all the time, and they were hard little kicks as well, most of them. So especially near the end, he'd be kicking me right in my ribs. I just felt uncomfortable all the time and I just wanted him out. But no, I had to wait 6 days, which I know isn't a lot because some people, like my mum, had to wait 2 weeks and a bit more for me. So 6 days, I shouldn't really be moaning, but it really took the mick. I thought he was going to be early, everyone thought he was going to be early. I tried my best to get him to come out on time or earlier. Nothing. So when I say I tried my best, like I did like spicy foods, long walk, that sort of stuff. So I waited 6 days. So the last 3 days before I gave birth, I was in and out of hospital. The first day I went in, I was just having mild contractions, but there were no signs of baby. The second day we stayed in overnight, and I was in there all day and all night, and they said, we can either induce you or you can just wait naturally. We would prefer for you to wait. So they sent us home. Later that night I was back in again, and this time they were like, yeah, you're this many centimetres dilated, you're staying in now. And I thought, hallelujah. The midwife I had, she was so lovely. I had her for her whole shift. I think we got in there at about, I want to say around 10 o'clock at night, maybe. So I was up all night about to give birth, basically. Her shift finished 10 minutes or something like that before baby was born. And I just can't believe it. Like, she was there for me the whole night, coming in, checking on me, asking if I wanted anything. 10 minutes before her shift ended and she got to go home. I mean, selfish of me to say, but I wish she stayed. The other ladies who actually delivered the baby, they were lovely as well, but it would just been a nice little story. Anyway, rambling on. So I had a lovely midwife who delivered my baby and a student midwife, and she was really lovely as well. She was amazing, actually. She helped me shower after, she changed all the sheets and stuff. She was just amazing, and she kept coming in and checking on me after as well. So in total I was in active labour, I think it's called, for let me count on the clock, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 10 hours. But I was only pushing for about 45 minutes. which I think is quite good, to be honest, because that's quite quick, because some ladies are in labour for 12 hours or more. Could not do that. So yeah, so it was quite quick. I had a normal birth. I just had some stitches after. Yeah, so that was the birth. I had to stay in overnight because of the stitches. I had a catheter. I was moved to a different ward. The next day before I went home, no, during the day of the baby's first day on this crazy earth, the midwife who was with me for the first most of the labour, she was working again, so she came and found me, and everyone met and cuddles and nice words, all that sort of stuff. And the lady who delivered my baby as well came down to see how I was. We had a few visitors came to see us, most of me and my boyfriend's family. My best friend and her boyfriend came. So yeah, so that was the birth. So I couldn't go home until like 3 o'clock the next day. I think we went home. We went home, and teenage parenting life began. He still is and was a little angel. He would wake up every 3 hours, go back to sleep again. He wouldn't cry all the time, only unless he was hungry. He was just an actual godsend. We fell in love straight away. I didn't put him on social media or anything because I wanted time for my family and Chris's family, my boyfriend, his family, to all meet him before I put him on social media. And to be honest, I don't really put much of him on social media, but I want to share this story with you because if this video gets around, if I get more subscribers, and some of my subscribers are teen mums or are going to be, I want to feel like they're supported and they have information of what I've gone through so far. So that's why I want to share this story. First month flew by, second month flew by. Now he's 5 months old next Friday on the 12th, which to me is so crazy. It's gone so quick already. He's almost a half a year old. Just time is flying by. I want him to stay a baby forever. So being a teen mum now, so after he is here, he's amazing still. He sleeps through the night. I think from 3 months he slept through, and he does most nights. Maybe he might have an off night for like a week and then he sleeps through. So we are so lucky. He doesn't cry all the time unless there's a reason, like he's tired or he's hungry. He's currently teething. He has been for a couple of months now, so that's sometimes a reason for him to be grouchy. But apart from that, he's amazing. He's so funny. He's got such a character already. At the same time, I want him to stay small. I also can't wait for him to grow. So that's the nice part of my teenage pregnancy. The bad parts, I do get a lot of looks, I'll be honest. People walk by. I don't know if it's me taking in a bad vibe from everyone just because I'm self-conscious. But yeah, I do feel like I get looked at a lot. Especially by like the older generation. I feel like they're the ones that judge the most because to them it's not how things are supposed to be done. But I have so much support from my family, from my friends, from my boyfriend's family. That's one thing that really gets to me. I'm quite self-conscious to go out with him on my own. When I'm with my boyfriend, it's not as bad because I guess they see us together and they think, oh, they have a stable family. But when I'm on my own, people just are so quick to judge. And I think that's the same with everything in this world, especially now. Another part is the mental side. I've struggled mentally before being pregnant, and I've struggled again after. You're sleep deprived, your hormones are all over the place. I've had a lot of issues with my body image. I look at myself and I feel horrible. But luckily, again, I have support from my friends, from my family, from my health visitor, who's amazing. I might be going in a bit too much detail here, but I like I said earlier, I want to be someone who can inspire and help other teen mums, or just mums who are struggling in general, because it's not easy. It's really not, and I'll be honest. As much as you see all of the happy stuff, like videos of him smiling, videos of him laughing, photos of him all dressed up, it's tiring. I'm not working, of course, like maternity leave, so when I go back to work it's going to be even more hard. English, when I go back to work, is going to be a lot more difficult, but it's life at the end of the day, and I have to be strong. I have to get on with it. I can ask for help. That is one thing that is so important, and if anyone is watching this and they are teen mums or mums who are struggling, ask for help. It is okay. I personally don't like asking for help. I like to cry to my boyfriend and get him to tell people. But it is okay to ask for help, and if you are struggling and you just want an hour on your own, as much as you'll get withdrawal symptoms from your baby, it will do you the world of good. At the moment I'm in lockdown with my mum and my sister. I'm going back next week, but if I'm stressed I can hand him over to either of them and just take myself off, do my own thing for a little bit, and come back. I feel like I'm not doing anything right, because I do feel like I'm doing a lot of things wrong a lot of the time. I constantly worry about him, think that I'm not doing things right, but like I said, I've got the help, and if you have the help, ask for it, and if you don't, reach out to someone you see on social media. Me, if you see this video, just reach out, because being a mum is difficult, and I don't want people struggling, suffering in silence. You should be enjoying your time with your baby. So yeah, so now I hope that you guys can feel more connected to me and you can understand, and if you're a mum whatever age and you see this and you're struggling, I hope it makes you feel like you're not alone, because you're not. I'm saying this and I don't really understand that myself, but I do know that I'm not alone in feeling like I do, and if you feel low, talk to someone, please. That is the end of today's video on my pregnancy story / teen mum story. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, all of that. I'll see you in the next one. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.